Hi, welcome to this process video. Today we're going to be working on making a book journal. And these are 6 by 8 pages and cover. And to start, the cover is going to be created with pattern paper, Hawthorne pattern paper by Heidi Swapp. And I have gone and cut a title out of that cover paper, and it's going to say utmost. And what I'm going to do next is show you how I'm going to back that up, the opening up, with a piece of cardstock that is covered with gold flakes. So next I'm going to grab a piece of backer paper, and you see it's going to fit right behind the utmost, and I'm going to add glue. And when I first did this, I did not add enough glue, so make sure there's plenty of glue. There is the gold foil flakes that are going to be covering that backer paper. Make sure there's plenty of glue on there. Make sure there's plenty of coverage on there as well. Then take a paper towel and rub over the foil flakes. It helps remove the excess and makes a bit of a smoother texture and surface, and that's what I'm doing here. And you'll see how you have a beautiful coverage on this cardstock backer. Now I'm going to back my cover pattern paper with my gold foil, and I'll be using glue stick, and I'll also be reinforcing it with washi tape because I didn't want there to be pockets around it. So I tried to get as much glue around the details as possible and layered that over on top of it, but I'm going to back it up, as you'll see here, with washi tape as well. And this will create a beautiful gold foil feature that shines through the opening of the title, and I really love how this turned out. Next, we will cover the front cover with the pattern paper using red line to make sure I have a really good adhesion. So we'll speed that up and let you follow along. Okay, next, the back covers are all covered. Back to the front piece again, and before I adhere the inside pattern paper, I want to make a little bit of an interactive feature. So I'm using a circle die cut here as a tracing piece, and I'm going to be cutting a half circle flap. So I'm just making those marks right now. And what I'm going to do is cut along that half circle, and I'm wanting to fit a piece of paper in behind it, so that's what I'm measuring there to make sure I've got a wide enough scrap of paper to cover that. So using my utility knife, I am cutting along that where I made that template mark, and so the first flap is cut. I'm going to take that off because that's going to be a see-through feature. So that's what's happening next, and then I will back it with that pink piece of paper. And that's what you're going to see on the inside cover of this book journal. And again, I'm going to use the red line tape. It's just a very good enforcing tape. And I'll use some on the top, and then I'll enforce my pocket here in a moment. And you'll see how that comes together. So now I have that little flap, and then I'm going to go in and finish the pocket. This isn't it's not what I call a utility pocket. It doesn't need to hold a bunch of stuff. It's a little bit more decorative, so I'm not too terribly concerned that my pocket's not that big, but it does serve its purpose, and you'll see how that turns out here in a little bit with the rest of the embellishing of this album. All right, in this last clip here, just going to now add that pattern paper to the inside cover of the book journal, and same as before, the red line tape, and smoothing that out, and the pocket now will be accessible on the inside, just as I created it, and we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Okay, now we're getting ready to bind this book, and I snagged another journal and hacked out the pages for my inserts, and sort of just going to be playing around with these papers for a moment. That blue is actually Basil clear paper, and it still has the plastic protective cover on it, just to let you know. And I'm going to go and round the outside corners of both the covers. Then I like to distress my pages, and I'm just taking some old haggard sandpaper here and distressing and roughing up the edges a little bit. This paper is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know why I like the sandpapered edges, but I do, and will continue to distress my pages like that. So I'm removing the plastic cover protector part of the clear paper, and more rounding and more distressing of pages. And I just put in a couple of interactive pieces in this book. Nothing fancy, and I will show you in a bit how I just add a little bit of clear sticker to the clear page, and later on I added some more things to it just to give it some more dimension. But since this book is really a working book, as I've made this a while back and I've used it since, it became a real serious book journal for me with a lot of intense notes. So although I wanted to make it pretty, it's pretty flat in terms of embellishment. So this is a Heidi Swapp cinch, and I'm punching the holes in all of my pages. And I will give you a little spoiler alert here. I ended up layering my covers incorrectly, and so I still was able to use the binding, and it opens and closes just fine. It's just an aesthetic aspect that I put the covers to the back when I should have had both the covers on the front part while doing the binding. So it will be okay, and live and learn. I'm always messing with that. I seem to not ever remember to get it correct. So I missed a hole here, but I'm going to go back and I'll fix that. So this is the part where you bind or rather, I want to say cinch the binding together and crimp it. And so I'm doing that along the side. And so like I said, you can see where the binding closes there in the front, and it should be in the back part. But it's okay. I am super in love with this book, and we're going to embellish it here just a little bit. I'm going to be creating a clip. So I wanted to back up my sticker, and I failed to record the actual what that looked like inside the pocket. There's a picture at the very end, so hang on to the very end. You'll see how this worked out. But I made a clip out of that Journey sticker. These are clear Hawthorne stickers, and this is just a little bit of the embellishment I added to the clear pages. And like I said, later on I went back and embellished more. All kinds of different possibilities can be had here on those clear pages. And that is my book journal. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions below.